Good morning, Murphy, O'Malley. I have fairly good intel that there was a coyote in the yard last night checking out the chicken coop. What were you guys doing? Huh? You're supposed to protect the yard. Roll call. Is everyone alive? Looks like it. None of you are a coyote, are you? No? Okay. Well, I'll leave you guys alone. I don't know what we pay you guys for. It's not for tennis ball protection. Okay. Well, don't work too hard today. Harvest is over, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tillage Tuesday. Actually, no, it's Wednesday. It might take a month or so for my mental schedule to kind of recalibrate. This morning we're taking the big horse in the stable, the 9620R, and our 2720 disc ripper over east of the main farm, about 5 miles, where we had all of that new tile work done last fall. Let's just say that this growing season, it was very evident in the tillage tractors and the planter and the sprayer multiple times that there were tile lines installed. You definitely knew where they were. As a matter of fact, I think I may have almost bit my tongue off one time spraying this field with the Hagee. So this is probably the best tool in our arsenal for really leveling the soil. It just moves so much, disturbs so much of that top 10 to 12 inches that we think it'll level this out enough that by next spring we won't even know that there was ever tile put in, other than maybe how quick it dries and the yield monitor in the fall, hopefully. Here we are. Did I mention that this was our highest yielding field of corn this year as well? Who would have thought that a swamp would be the best farm you could have on a super dry year? Oh, gotta love that. That doesn't bring back memories. What else does? I definitely got it screwed in deep. I can tell just by how hard this 620 horsepower tractor is pulling. I set the efficiency target at 9, and we're struggling to get 8.5. Well, we're getting on some lighter ground now, so that pulls a little easier. I'll probably get out after a round and screw it out an inch or two. Wow, that is absolutely beautiful. Gotta check the damage before we get too far. Don't forget you put that there. It took less than a round in this field to get the rust off of the shanks. Here's a shank run right here. Nope, that's not one. I predicted this to be much easier than it was to determine where it's going. It's kind of difficult because this ground is just inherently soft and a little bit on the wet side on its own. That looks like a pretty good measurement. I don't have a tape measure though. I wear a size 12 shoes, so yep. Doing every bit of 12 inches, if not more, maybe 13. I'll take out a little bit. It says 5 turns in 1 inch. I don't know how many turns. Were you guys counting? I wasn't. That's probably good. It's got an A through L system. A shallower, L's deeper. I had it set all the way down here on the middle of I. I think I probably took it out close to 1.5 inches or 2 inches. We'll run it and most likely not check it again. That'll be good enough. It's amazing the difference an inch or two can make and how easy it pulls. It's acting like we don't even have that ripper behind us anymore now. Went from struggling to pull at 9 to almost going 11. After I work these south end rows here right to the right of us, I'll probably screw it back in just a hair. I'd like to see it move a little bit more soil. The up-off clan is just to my east here, picking some corn. That's some of their stuff I sprayed fungicide on. I would imagine it's fairly good, considering they're good farmers, and this ground around here has been yielding well. I'm a little jealous. They've got 2 grain carts. It's kind of what we need. Listen up. I want to give a quick non-sponsored shout out to Grant Hilbert, also known as The Squad on YouTube. Many of you probably are already familiar with him if you watch my channel. He finally released Squad Built's highly anticipated American farming simulation game for mobile devices. Other than some day one bugs, the game looks to be in great shape. If you or your kids enjoy playing games like this, check out American Farming on your local app store. I've got a great appreciation for Grant and his content because he's not a typical multi-generational farmer like myself and other YouTubers. He got his start making farming simulator videos on The Squad and then rolled it into an actual real-life farm. It's a neat and inspiring story. Go check out American Farming to play. Looks like they don't have to wait in the long line at the elevators this time of year either. They're bagging their corn right there. Maybe we can sneak over there in the middle of the night and steal it. Man, time flies when you're having fun. We've already got 60 acres of this 125-acre field worked. It's amazing how comfortable these newer tractors are to run. Time just melts away. What John Deere, Case IH, Fendt, all these other companies have done to improve the ergonomics and quality of life of the operator's station of equipment over the last 10 plus years is truly incredible. I always say they're the reason that these old farmers never retire. It is so easy to just sit here and not steer your tractor. Sorry, that's the efficiency manager shifting gears as we go through some darker, harder pulling stuff. But point still stands. It's just easy to do tillage. Tractor's got a lot of power, good suspension on it, auto steers take me back and forth straight, no obstacles in the field. It's just fun. This is the field with the 2 24-inch tile main direct surface inlets that drain because this field floods. So we don't work this little strip out in the middle. It's where all the water leaves the field and goes to the mains. We don't want to loosen the soil on the bottom because a lot of that soil will just end up in the drainage ditch over there. And you guys know how seriously we take erosion control. That's why we're running this anti-erosion device. It actually shocks me that AT&T doesn't have like a security fence around the cell tower. I mean, I could literally go up there and just start cutting wires if I wanted to. Not that I would ever do it, but still, it doesn't seem like a very secure facility. Today was shaping up to be a very uneventful day of tillage. That's the way I prefer my days, without anything bad happening, until Dad just called and said that the rolling basket, or one of the rolling baskets on the vertical till, fell off. For those of you who are not engineers, rolling baskets are not supposed to fall off of tillage devices. Yes, they are removable, but you don't really want to remove them. Well, that kind of looks like our VT right there. Oh, yes, it is. And it's definitely missing a basket, huh? Good thing we got 2 baskets on each section.
This tube is like nothing.
Huh.
Thickness. Look how...
Did you hit something or just broke?
No. That's the thing. It's out in the middle of the field and it broke like right back in here somewhere.
So the tube is broken?
Yeah.
Jeez.
We just dropped these 2 things. But it was out, yeah, it broke like... broke right here, like on this side of the. We could have hit something with it at some time, but that I can't get over how thin that stuff is. This,
yeah,
as much as it's as heavy as that damn thing is.
Yeah, as much movement as goes on back here.
Yeah,
you'd think it'd be stronger.
Yeah,
interesting. We're gonna go to where the basket is, try and pick it up. Jeff said it just broke. I guess we'll evaluate when we get to the field. We can blame Katie because she ran that yesterday. We're just a mile east of where we were working ground. Jeff was working some corn stalks here. Dad's got a trailer. We're gonna try and load this basket up. Don't do that though. Too much? Let me get
pin at before we go any farther. Get that tiller down. Oh, alright. You go work. We'll just work on it.
Well, good thing it has two.
Well, we could run without one.
This may surprise you. I wasn't here for my brains or my good looks. I was just here to help get that on the trailer. Up-off boys are still chewing away on this big cornfield. We're headed back to the disc ripper. Huh, looks like the soil sampler was left open. Nice. No soil, just... Did this ever close? Yeah, I guess it did. I, for one, prefer the posh 9620R cab over manual labor back at home. That said, John Deere has to order the tubing. The baskets look fine. Bearings definitely shot too. So tubings, bearings, not going to get fixed today. Just running the vertical till down the road with one basket as opposed to two. We're back in the erosion preventer. For the record, anyone who's not picking up on that nomenclature, I'm being completely sarcastic. If anything, this is one of the worst things you can run if you're worried about your soil washing away. Anyways, it is unusual that a 3-year-old vertical till would break like that. We don't run a lot of acres, we're not super hard on equipment. One thing I will note is that we bought that 1 year used. I think it came from a bigger farmer. I'm not sure, it was an Alliance Tractor customer. I think down in Newton or Vincennes, which would be closer to LR Rouge Farms. Some of you may be familiar with their YouTube channel, big farmers down there. One thing I did notice when we were looking at it, or I guess once it showed up, is that specific piece of tubing where that broke was actually discolored. And when something's discolored, it's not the standard black or green paint. That means that it was probably heated up. So I would speculate that the previous owner hit something and then had to fix that. I didn't know why it was like that. Don't know what happened to it, just speculating. And I'm not trying to pass the buck. Genuinely, if I could find footage of it, I would show you that that little piece of tubing was discolored. And I would say it was weakened and then we broke it from running on our own. It happens, things break. You wouldn't expect something that new to break, but if something hit it hard enough or hit something hard enough, it's gonna be weak. Yeah, we've got a nice home-cooked meal for lunch today. Nutritious and tasty. There goes the grain cart too. Boo, red equipment, boo. You see, I'm a man of high tastes. Green equipment, high-quality lunches. What more could you ask for? Sometimes you just gotta slow down and appreciate the planter operator's job on a few fields. Look how straight those rows are. Yeah, running the disc ripper is a pretty good job. Kick your feet up, go back and forth, work a whopping 22 to 23 acres an hour, burn almost 30 gallons an hour doing so. It's not fuel efficient or productivity efficient at all, but it is a job. Having the drone up on this field brought back a lot of memories from 2 years ago. My, how differently this season has been all across the board. This field right here is one we had to mud out with the tracks on the combine. I got up in the middle of the night one day in December to work this ground while it was frozen so we could fill in the ruts. Now we're doing it with all the time in the world. Heck, I may even quit tonight before the sun set or the farm's finished because it's not that wet, there's not a lot of rain in the forecast, and I'd like to see my family. Don't worry everyone, we're not getting spoiled. It always swings back both ways. Mother Nature keeps track. For every easy year you have, you're gonna have a hard year. Or maybe in Central Illinois, it's like for every 3 easy years you have, you're gonna have a hard year. Hey, I didn't pick where I was born, but it's never really that challenging until it is. To be fair, our soil and climate is much different than, say, a Minnesota farmer's or a South Dakota, North Dakota farmer. We don't have those endless, bottomless soil pits that some of you all have. Our soil has a bottom eventually. Usually you get stuck from losing traction, not from just sinking into the ground. Yep, I'm doing it. I'm quitting for the night. The sun's not even gonna set for another hour at least. I'm a madman. Came up a little chunkier than I like. That's a combination of a little bit of moisture in the soil, root balls coming up, and the tillage reaching deep enough to grab some of that heavier packed together soil. So we're either helping our soil by breaking it open, turning it over like this, or completely wasting money. I'm not sure. I constantly go back and forth with myself year after year, time and time again, trying to decide, is the deep tillage worth it? Are we even helping ourselves? I think bottom line, you need to cut up the corn stalks, you need to turn the soil over a little bit. Do you need to go 10 to 12 inches in the ground in the process? I don't have a good answer for that. You got to think that we're running 20 acres an hour or so, probably costing $6 to $7 an acre in tractor depreciation. Let's say another $5 or $6 in fuel. That's $12 to $13 an acre alone there. If you want to pencil in labor, let's say $1 an acre. Probably realistically, you're not going to find a part-time guy for any less than that. So there's $13, $14 an acre. I don't even know what kind of value to put on the ripper. $2 an acre, $3 an acre. So there's $17, $16, $17, $18 an acre. That's a lot of money to turn the dirt over. Vertical tilling's not free either, but you could safely say it's maybe half the price. The tool costs as much per acre, but you cover so many more acres in an hour. Labor and depreciation is going to be lower because of it. Fuel is going to be less because you're doing less work. It's pretty simple. I don't really know what's right and wrong. As with myself and everyone else, people are always going to view things in a perspective that justifies their own decision making. Like me, about to quit for the night with not even having the field completely done around the outside. Not a lot of rain in the forecast. We ran hard for the last 5-6 weeks harvesting, and to be honest with you, I just want to take off early again tonight and go spend some time with my little children and my wife, as opposed to sitting in here all day and all night just to get something done that doesn't need to be done urgently. If there was rain in the forecast, trust me, I'd be the first person in line ready to run as late as I need to. It just seems unnecessary. Judge me if you want, I don't care. The weather's actually beautiful today. Almost 70 degrees, a nice little breeze. Pleasant sunset inbound. The calming sound of interstate traffic. Okay, that part was a joke. It's a nice day. Purely out of speculation and knowing how my boss thinks, we will probably end up just running this disc ripper. We'll keep it exclusively on this dark ground like this because that's where it's really made to run. We'll run the vertical till at the same time, and then they'll just meet each other at the finish. The vertical till will work 2 to 3 times more ground per day than this will, just because it's wider, it's not pulling as hard, and we'll do a lot more with that. I prefer the vertical till at times, like I said, and other times I prefer the disc ripper. And then I go back to preferring the vertical till, and yada, yada, yada. Look at some of these chunks. That's just a wet, packed down chunk. The growing season on its own can do that. Dry weather, roots, they all add up. One thing we've not really been getting that we used to get all the time were hard, deep frosts. It used to freeze and get down to 0 for weeks at a time in the winter, and we just don't see that anymore. It's hard to argue that the climate is not getting warmer. Now, who's causing that? I'm not going to point fingers. I'm sure if humans are responsible, we may be partially involved as farmers. At the same time, you could just argue that that's the way nature shifts around. It'll get colder eventually. May not be in my lifetime. In a perfect world where money was no object, probably have a chopping corn head, run all of this corn through, start that decomposition immediately by downsizing everything with the corn head, and then follow up with a nice vertical till pass, aggressive disc angles, kind of flatten this all out, level it out, chop everything up even more, get those nutrients available for the next crop year quickly. And then on our soybean stubble, I'd love to deep band some dry fertilizer with a strip till bar and be able to just no-till into it into the spring, or stale seed bed into those strips. Obviously that's not the way we're set up. We're a little bit old school here, kind of a hybrid approach. We've got some newer age tillage devices and then some older school stuff. Hard to teach old dogs new tricks. It could be just that it's fun to romanticize about different ways to farm than how you're farming. A lot of people probably go to strip till in the future. I think more and more people are adopting it. It just makes sense logistically and with fertilizer efficiency and optimizing usage. Either way, I'm not going to bore you with any more of those conversations today. I'm going to take off. As always, everyone, I greatly appreciate every single one of you continuing to tune in and support the channel. Your viewership means the world to me. Catch you all in the next episode. Until then, make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love to talk about farming. Have a great day, everyone. Peace!